What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my picks for MLB
Thursday, September 17th.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made.
Okay guys, let's take a look at this 6-game main slate. At the pitcher position, so we got two stud pitchers here tonight that are in great spots, Shane Bieber and Aaron Nola. Both of them are fantastic plays, but you gotta pay up for them, so it may make your lineup construction a little bit difficult. I'm gonna give you some value plays throughout this video so you can fit one of those stud pitchers into your lineup if you want to, but I'm gonna give you a lower salary pitcher that I think is in a good spot here tonight. I like Masahiro Tanaka with a 6% pitching advantage over the Toronto Blue Jays. Masahiro Tanaka is only giving up a .658 OPS versus righties, and he's facing 6 righties here tonight. On top of that, the Blue Jays have only hit 22 of his last 100 pitches, batting a .220 batting average, and he's 8,300 FanDuel salary and 500 less on DraftKings. He's got an ERA of 3.16. His record is 2-2 this year, pitching an average of 73 pitches per game. He's averaging 24 fantasy points per game, but he scored 33, 25, and 43 fantasy points in the last 3 games, so he's been on fire. So I like Masahiro Tanaka here versus the Toronto Blue Jays. Okay, let's take a look at the first base position. I like Paul Goldschmidt with a 31% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Steven Brault. Paul Goldschmidt bats 28% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a 1.163 OPS versus lefties. And Steven Brault is giving up a .747 OPS versus righties. Goldschmidt is 4 for 11, batting a .364 batting average and a 1.409 OPS versus Brault. 2 of those 4 hits are for home runs. He's 3,700 FanDuel salary and 900 more on DraftKings. He's averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 6, 16, and 3 fantasy points in the last 3 games, projected at 10.8 fantasy points here tonight. So I like Paul Goldschmidt here versus Steven Brault. Okay, who do we have at the second base position? I'm going to give you a value play here. I like Adam Frazier with a 25% batting advantage over Dakota Hudson. Adam Frazier bats 16% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .711 OPS versus righties. And Dakota Hudson throws his worst ball versus lefty batters, 10% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .762 OPS versus lefties. Adam Frazier is 3 for 9, batting a .333 batting average and a .788 OPS versus Hudson. Now he's only averaging 7 fantasy points per game on the season, and he's been awful in the last 3 games, putting up a donut in each of those games, hasn't even scored 1 fantasy point in the last 3 games. But I think he breaks that slump here tonight. He's projected at 10 fantasy points here tonight. So I like Adam Frazier here versus Dakota Hudson.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. I like Tommy Edman with a 38% batting advantage over that same low salary pitcher, Steven Brault. Tommy Edman bats 30% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a 1.040 OPS versus lefties. And Steven Brault pitches his worst ball versus switch hitters. 9% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .807 OPS versus switch hitters. Edman is 3 for 5, batting .600 with a 1.267 OPS versus Brault. He's $2,900 FanDuel salary and $1,300 more on DraftKings. He's averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 10, 12, and 10 fantasy points in the last 3 games, projected at 10.4 fantasy points here tonight. So I like Tommy Edman here versus Steven Brault. Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. I like Chris Taylor with a 13% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Kyle Freeland. Chris Taylor is batting a .780 OPS versus lefties, and Kyle Freeland throws his worst ball versus righty batters, 17% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .889 OPS versus righties. Taylor is 6 for 15, batting .400 with a 1.326 OPS versus Freeland. 2 of those 6 hits are for home runs, and Taylor is $3,300 FanDuel salary and $1,500 more on DraftKings. He's averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 19, 3, and 6 fantasy points in the last 3 games, projected at 10.2 fantasy points here tonight. So I like Chris Taylor here versus Kyle Freeland. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. I'm going to give you a value play here. It's a somewhat risky play, but I think he makes a nice value play to open up some salary for the rest of your lineup. I like Brett Gardner with a 55% batting advantage over Chase Anderson. Brett Gardner is batting 50% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .826 OPS versus righties. And Chase Anderson throws his worst ball versus lefty batters, giving up a .857 OPS versus lefties. There's no at-bats versus Anderson yet, and he's $2,500 FanDuel salary and $400 more on DraftKings. He's only averaging 7 fantasy points per game on the season, but he scored 16, 0, and 9 fantasy points in the last 3 games, projected at 9.5 fantasy points here tonight. So I like Brett Gardner here versus Chase Anderson.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this MLB slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.